It's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. And if you're consistent with this practice of rehearsing the mindset to get out of your own way, you could physically move mountains.
Welcome to Shift, an exclusive podcast by DSN. I'm your host, Blake Mallon, and this is where high-performing entrepreneurs and experts share their most powerful shifts in mindset, skill set, and strategy to help you accelerate your business and amplify your impact. I challenge you to be present, open your mind, and let the shift begin. Welcome to Shift. I'm your host, Blake Mallon, and get ready to meet an absolute powerhouse in entrepreneurship. Our guest today brings 20 years of experience in pharmaceutical sales before she made the bold shift to direct selling and quickly rose to be a top performer in her company, known for her fearlessness and absolute resilience. She is on a mission to empower women to talk openly about money and to achieve financial freedom. Her why? Time freedom, driven by a deep personal experience for juggling motherhood and a demanding career. I love her Teflon-like attitude. You're going to feel this today. I give you the warning. She has a willingness to go all in on herself with what seems to be just no fear of trying new things. And she's cultivated an awesome team culture of positivity and transparency, inspiring others to embrace big dreams and the same relentless pursuit of success. Everyone calls her JJ, and today we get to dive into her journey, breaking free from the corporate grind and creating a life of abundance, impact, and adventure. Please help me welcome to the show none other than Jennifer Jones. Hey, JJ, how are you?
I'm wonderful, Blake. Thank you for letting me serve your audience today. I have put so much thought into some sentiments I'm going to share, and we are going to make the shift. We are going to make the shift today. I am ready.
I love it. Bringing the energy right from the beginning. You are glowing. I love the color. Is that a lion behind you? Tell me about that.
Yes, of course it is. I'm raising 4 little dragons. We have all sorts of powerful animals all over the house. Imagery is meaningful. So they stare at this every day on their way to school.
is the lion one of your favorites? Is there symbolism in that?
No, the dragon is my favorite because they breathe fire. And they are resilient and they are tenacious and they are unafraid. So, but yeah, you'll come visit me one day and you'll see all over the house, we have some pretty cool animal imagery, all representing power.
I love it. Intention from the very beginning. Well, let's rewind real quick. So 20 years, right? Pharmaceutical sales. You were successful, right, in that career by what most people's standards would say. And then you made the shift to direct selling. So tell us about that story and that transition.
Sure. 20 years in pharmaceutical sales, consistent top performer. Anyone in pharmaceutical sales knows that it's a bunch of hurry up and wait. I covered 3 states and I had 4 kids, 5 and under. They're older now, but I really have no tolerance when people tell me I'm too busy. I can't fit it in. I'm like, honey, take a seat. I covered 3 different states, 4 different geographies, had 4 kids, 5 and under. Nobody was more busy. I was also taking care of my mom, who at the time was in hospice. So the shift happened for me. I was on a ride along with my manager, which, Blake, your manager jumps in your car from like 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., 2 to 3 days in a row.
Wait, they ride with you in the car?
In the car. You're like glued together for 2 to 3 days at a time. And in my family, we have a 3-day rule. Anything more than 3 days, weird things start happening. But anyone who's in sales or pharmaceuticals is laughing right now because they know exactly what I'm saying. But one day I got the call from my mom's nurse at the time, and she said, Jen, I think it's time to start hospice. Can you come over? We're going to fill out some paperwork today, right now. My manager's with me, just to the right of me. And I go, hey, you know what? I'm going to have to cut our day short today. I got to go take care of my mom. And he goes, yes, whatever you need. So I'll just meet you tomorrow morning at Panera. That's where pharmaceutical reps meet in the morning. And we'll just start again tomorrow. And at that point, I was like, what am I doing? What am I doing? Like, this is far more important in life, but I got to do this other stuff. I had no time freedom. I made great money. I was able to provide for my family, no issue, but I had 0 time freedom. I did not know there were other options out there for me. So if you're listening to this and you've been afraid to tell someone about your opportunity, you've been afraid to share where your company is going, there is someone out there like me that is begging and praying and hoping and wishing that you would open your mouth. So I made the shift. I started doing this in the crevices of my day, which a sales rep would tell you, there's a lot of crevices in those days. I monetized the minutes, the 20 to 30 minutes. And after 6 months, I said goodbye to corporate America forever. I know that's not most people's desire. Most people love their job. Great. But what this gives you is leverage. Leverage. So when that job doesn't serve you anymore, you can still take care. You can tell I'm incredibly passionate about what we do. Any company, anyone in network marketing, life changing, and I'm an example.
I love the energy. I can sense an intense energy around your opinion of the corporate world. Where does this come from, right? Because I can feel, I think all of us can feel that when you're sharing your story. Just Go a little bit deeper there. Where's that come from? Was it a certain experience? Is that something you still feel today?
Several things. So I'm the youngest of 6 kids. My mom was 44 when she had me. My dad was 48. Very hard workers. When I was sick and had to stay home from school, my mom would take me to work with her. And I would just lay on the ground. She was in real estate. And I would lay on the ground at the house she was showing that day. What really struck me is my dad worked for the same company his entire life, from the time he graduated college until he was forced into early retirement at like 62 years old. And I saw the shift in his life from a proud working father providing for 6 kids to basically being booted out of his company after he gave them 4 decades of hard work. And I saw what that did to him. And I was like, may I never be in that position. So that was the first one. The second one was I had just had my first daughter. And she was at the time 10 weeks old. I had to fly to Scottsdale for a national meeting. So most people in the US get 12 weeks maternity. Some of it's paid, some of it blah, blah, blah. Leave maternity leave early, fly to Scottsdale for a national meeting. And I was like, listen, I'm nursing. I have a 10-week-old. Like, you have to be there. We're launching a new product. So what I did, I rented a VRBO for my elderly mom and my 10-week-old so they could stay at the VRBO. I rented a car. I would leave the meeting every night, sneak out, because I would have been fired if I didn't stay on prem, sneak out to go be with my baby every night, spend the night with my baby. I had like them on different flights. It was this whole thing because corporate couldn't know. Corporate couldn't find out. And so it really hit me many times over like a hammer on the head that I had no control of my future anywhere. I saw it happen to my dad. I've seen it happen to friends. I was like, that will never happen to me.
I can feel the emotion, obviously, in your story, and I can see that's kind of now become a purpose, right? Yes. for you. And is that something that you're now seeing maybe in some of the people you're inspiring when you look to the people that are enrolling in your community, in your movement? Is that a kind of common goal that people want out of that traditional path?
It's not necessarily out. I like to say leverage. So I say it's not about when or wanting to quit your job, because I would turn off a lot of people if I said, you want to quit your job, right? It's not about that. Some people are happy until they're not. So it's not about wanting to quit your job. It's being ready when your job quits you. And in my industry, layoffs are ubiquitous. I've been with my company 6.5 years. And that amount of time, some people have been laid off 3, maybe 4 times. And what I hear is a bunch of woulda, shoulda, coulda. The tears are flowing. JJ, I wish I would have started back when you told me to. Then I could have been in a different situation. I shoulda, I woulda, I coulda. And it breaks my heart. And all I can say is, me too. I wish you would have too. But we can start today. So yes, people, in any industry, but specifically mine, I thought I was going to carry that bag of samples for the rest of my life, making the same income for the rest of my life, because I didn't know there was other options out there. Yeah, I knew you could sell a product and make $100 a month and, maybe cover a grocery bill. It took a long time until I saw visionaries in this space. Some of them you've had on this podcast. And I'm like, wow. If she can do something like that, or he can do something like that, why can't I? So I credit, you, and this podcast has been so inspiring for so many. But yeah, I see that every day. And most importantly, Blake, I do not want my 4 daughters to get a traditional job. We are already plugging in entrepreneurship. We're kind of pushing them into trades, like to be electricians or something like totally serious, then they can own their own business. Then they have control. And I always say, I don't want them prepping for the interview to serve someone else. I want them conducting the interview to provide opportunity for others, which is what my founder and CEO does every single day, provides opportunity for people like me to do more in this life.
Go deeper there when it comes to kind of beliefs about an employee versus being an entrepreneur, or maybe even beliefs about money, right? And the shift in terms of how we approach money. You mentioned what you're teaching your kids, and I'm sure it's probably similar philosophy to what you're teaching your team. What were your beliefs about entrepreneurship and money, and have they changed? What are they now? And what do you pass on to your kids and your team?
So money is power. I saw what happened at home growing up when dad would have years that he would make more than mom, or mom would have years that she would make more than dad. And they weren't like rolling in it. Trust me, very middle class life. Okay. But I saw the shift in money. And I always, from day one, and this is very controversial, but I've always said, to my husband and my kids, we keep our money, we have separate bank accounts. And I was brought up in this of like, you have to take care of you. I have 3 sisters and 2 brothers. All of my 3 sisters are the breadwinners in their relationships. It was just something in my psyche growing up of like, it's okay to talk about money. When I was in pharma, I would ask my male colleagues what they made. And they're like, well, I'm not supposed to tell you. I'm like, well, why do you think you're not supposed to tell me? Why can't you tell me? We both started on the same day. We have the same amount of experience. Why can't you tell me? Why do they tell you that you can't tell me? Isn't that more concerning? I'm extremely an intense person. I think you can feel that about me. And I cannot handle when women specifically, because I don't see this with men, when women are shy or afraid to talk about dollars. I think some of it can be linked, like religiously linked, which I'm kind of still drilling into that, but I am here to say to women, especially on LinkedIn, let's talk about it. Let's talk about income. Let's talk about where you want to be. Let's talk about what money can do for you. And I'm in a lot of different clubs and organizations that are all about equal pay for women. And how do we create equal pay for women? We start talking about pay.
I absolutely love it. And I'm sure there's a bunch of women listening right now that are smiling, nodding their head and saying, amen, sister. Yes. I can feel it. I can hear it. What are some of the limiting beliefs around that topic, right? Around money that you think are keeping people in the box, right? Or keeping people from making that same leap to being an entrepreneur? Or maybe they've made the leap and they're just stuck where they're at. Do you see a consistent pattern or theme of kind of a limiting belief around this topic in your team?
Absolutely, yes. Because your brain wants to keep you safe. Your brain wants to keep you in that 8 to 5, or for me, it's an 8 to 8. You know what? It's good enough. The money's good enough. The flexibility is good enough. One time I was in a conference with my colleagues and our regional director came in and he said something I'll never forget. And I was like, get me out of this room before I say something I shouldn't say. He came in and he goes, you guys all make a lot of money. You should be so lucky to make this much money, to have these company cars. Like, cause he thought we were being greedy and you should be so lucky. And I was like, hold the phone. I should be so lucky to make whatever I was making at the time. Oh no. And that again, it's the seeds that were being planted. But I think people don't do this because they're safe. But the thing is, you're safe until you're not safe. You don't have control, in a corporate job. You don't. Anyone would know that. I don't care if you're a teacher. They can rearrange what class you teach. I don't care if you're a nurse. They can get rid of this wing of the hospital, move it. None of it matters. None of us are safe until we take our future into our own hands. But people don't do it because they think it's going to cost them $500,000 and a genius idea. Right. But here in network marketing, we know there's a very low cost of buy-in across most companies, very low. Some of them might be a couple thousand, but as a rule, very low cost of buy-in, 0 risk. You just have to go to work. So that means you have to get out of that safety cave that's keeping you safe in that warm blanket and walk over into the pain cave and try something new, which is scary. It is so scary to put yourself out there. And I literally had someone leave my business this past week, and she goes, I just care too much about what people think. And Blake, I have worked mindset with this amazing woman for 6 months, but her whole life, she was just squashed, just to belittle, just, shh, shh, shh. And she just couldn't get out of her own head. So it was never going to work for her, So I'm here to try to help your audience stop staying safe, try something new, be okay with sucking at something new, be okay looking like a fool. My mentor, John Melton, is like, I would rather you be ignorance on fire than genius on ice. Ignorance on fire over genius on ice. Everybody wants to do it perfect. It's never going to be perfect. Just do it.
Well, when you said good enough, I wrote that down and I felt that. And I think when people are listening to this right now, how often do we get stuck in, oh, it's good enough, right? And that gives us an excuse to stay where we are as opposed to pushing our limits, expanding our comfort zone, going for what's possible, like you're saying. So I agree with you 100%. Good is the enemy of the great, right? Is what they say. So, shifting belief around money, right? Breaking down these barriers, breaking down these walls, not settling for good enough. And we can feel your intensity. And I read or somewhere on there that the word Teflon when someone was kind of describing your overall attitude. And we can see that right now. We can feel that. Here's my question for you. So there's like this Teflon. Well, first, what does that mean to you? How would you describe your kind of Teflon-like attitude in your own words? I'm curious how you see yourself.
Yes. So I have to give credit where credit's due. I believe it was the great Zig Ziglar, one of my most favorite mentors that I never got to meet, who had this idea of the Teflon suit. And I take this back to being bullied as a kid. I would wish being bullied on nobody. Okay. But it worked out really well for me because I was bullied horribly in elementary school. I still don't know exactly why, but I would hide in the corner when these bullies were threatening to kill me or throw me in the garbage can or whatever. And I would just be like, I can't hear them. I can't see them. I can't hear them and I can't see them. Or I would be on the bus and I had to ride the bus. My mom was at work. She couldn't pick me up, right? And every day getting on the bus, I was like, is today the day they're going to do something completely humiliating to me, right? So these kids would spit on me. And, this is the 80s, the bus driver, she's smoking a cig. She doesn't care. So I would just be like, I can't hear them. I can't see them. I'm going to get home and I'm going to watch The Simpsons. I can't hear them and I can't see them. And I have carried that through my entire life. Pharmaceutical sales is extremely hard. Actually, that's not hard. It can be extremely humiliating. Doctors yell, you didn't go to medical school. You don't know anything. You have no idea what you're talking about. And you have to go into the next call and act like everything's perfect. Everything's fine. No one knows that you were just completely humiliated or belittled, maybe for good reason. Maybe I was a little over my skis. Who knows? Nobody knows. And so I always tell my team, you have to pull the Teflon suit up every day. You pull it up to your neck and everything just rolls off it like water on a duck's back. All the side eyes, the family talking about you, social media haters that truly fuel me. Anyone in your business, it's like, oh, she's doing one of those things or he's doing one of those things. It all just falls away and you don't absorb it. And I'm telling you guys, if you practice this every single day, physically act like you're pulling up something. Or maybe for you, it's like putting on a sunscreen. When you're putting on your sunscreen in the morning, just know whatever they say is not going to get inside you. Whatever they say is not going to get inside you. And I teach it to my kids and it is working so well because they're in middle school now and in elementary and middle school, there's a lot of side eyes and a lot of haters and a lot of bullies. But if you can't hear them and you can't see them, they can't affect you. So you guys try it. It really does work.
It's easy to say. We can sit here on a podcast and be like, okay, put on a Teflon suit and don't care. But like you just had someone exit your business because she does care. And the reality is it's probably one of the hardest things we all face as entrepreneurs and as people is really not being affected, right, by the opinions of others. So maybe go deeper for someone that doesn't have that natural Teflon suit, for someone that the words hurt, right? What specifically can they do or advice can you give for someone to start to develop this kind of Teflon?
It is a practice. It's a muscle. Just like when you get on the treadmill or you go out for your walk, this is something you have to practice every single day, and you will get better at it. But there's a mantra that I have that if it doesn't make me happy, it doesn't make me better, it doesn't make me money, I don't make time for it. And I credit a lot of that. I'm sure she didn't invent it, but Robin Arzon is one of my favorite Peloton instructors, one of my favorite people in the world, one of my favorite mindset coaches that exists. I was lucky enough to meet her at my company's conference a few years ago and tell her in person how much she's impacted me. So that's what I tell them. If they're not impacting your bank account or your well-being or your happiness, you do not make time for them. And I think a lot of that comes from outside of the business, outside of network marketing, getting those toxic people out of your life. And they may be in your house. They may be part of your family. They may be part of your circle. So if you can't physically remove them, which sometimes you can't, you have to mentally remove them. And it takes rehearsal. It's practice. It took me years to not get in my car and cry after a bad day selling. Nobody bought my product that day. Oh, it must be me. It must be me. And that led me to find that it's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. And if you're consistent with this practice of rehearsing the mindset to get out of your own way and focus on the outcome, if you do that every single day and you show up for your business, no matter what your business is, it could be a relationship. It could be, something you're trying to fix in your life. If you're showing up for that consistently every single day, you could physically move mountains with the mindset shifts and the changes and the ways to almost self-protect yourself from feeling those ugly, uncomfortable. And sometimes it's just an aura. People have an aura, right? And you just know. You don't know exactly, but that they're talking smack, they're rolling their eyes, they're telling people not to buy from you. Oh, you can get that cheaper at Target, something to say, you can get that at Walmart, blah, 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 blah. You can hear it and feel it, but you don't absorb it. And it just takes those things, not making me money, not making me happy, not making me better. And I heard on your podcast a while back, someone talking about doing, this was so freaking genius. And I hope you can give the guest credit. She said, you need to put 2 columns. And on this column, on the left side, people that are raising me up, supporting me, helping me. Doesn't have to be in business, in life, in family, in relationships, at work, whatever. And then on this side, which is the more obvious column, the people that are holding you back, that are keeping you small, that are telling you, stay safe. Everything's good enough. Your relationship is good enough. Your income is good enough. Your job's good enough. Whatever. Put them in this side. And then you consciously spend time with the people in this column. And then you consciously, it has to be conscious, remove or distance yourself from the people on this side. I listened to this podcast last week. I did it. I put it into practice, and I'm already feeling lighter. So that might be something that your guests can do too. In addition to just practicing and staying focused on the end game, the end goal is make that list. Who is helping? Who is hurting? And start making some changes and auditing. That's what she did. It was an audit of her circle. That's what it was. Yeah.
Well, JJ, I'm just excited that we're talking about this openly and you're willing to share your experience and what's worked. Because we all know, and everybody listening, if we all were honest with ourselves, so often, right, as much as we've heard this, right, as much as we've worked on it, the opinions of others affect us. And that's one of the biggest things that keeps people from moving forward. And JJ, I'm writing notes fast as you're talking because I love how every question I kind of ask, you first go to the mindset, right? You called it a mantra. And I love that, right? I can't see them. I can't hear them. I can't see them. I can't hear them. If it's not, I think, making me money, right, happy or better, I don't have energy for it. Like, it starts with that shift in mindset. I love what you're just saying, kind of the power of your peer group, choosing your circle, doing that audit and removing to the extent we can, right, the people that are dumping on us. I also, when you said the Teflon suit, like, I saw the way you described it. Are you Are you visualizing literally like you're putting on a Teflon suit? Like, that's a visual in your brain?
So for women, imagine putting on a full body Spanx, like a full body Spanx. Now for men, you might envision putting on like a Superman costume or a superhero suit. And women, you can too, but any woman knows what it feels like to put on like pantyhose or Spanx. And it just kind of like, And then it truly is. You become resilient. In our business, we hear a lot of excuses, reasons why it won't work. And I'll give you an example. Yesterday, a woman on my team, she's going through a horrible divorce, custody issues. And it was pages and pages of a text of just negative, why I can't do this, how I'm being trapped, all this negative. And I go, okay, what can you do? What can you do today? Because all you're telling me is what you can't do. And everybody's dealing with something. Everybody has horrible things in their, everybody's dealing with something. So once we can acknowledge that we all have situations at home, we all have situations at work, we may have situations with our health, our pets, our parents, whatever. We all have it. Life's not fair for anybody. But what you can control is showing up every day as the best version of yourself to serve the universe. The universe. Don't bring people down. Pull people up. It's not a hand out, it's a hand up.
I love it. And JJ, you nailed it. It takes practice, but it's something we all can get better at. And I love that you just gave us like a framework, like simple things that we can do to get better at it. So thank you for that. Let's talk about what's going on just in the world, right? Obviously, we're on a show called Shift. And it's no secret that we're in a season of it. As a leader, you've been in direct sales now. Are we 6 years, 7 years? How long has it been?
6.5 years. Yep.
6.5 years, right?
Yeah.
So 6.5 years, which is enough time to go through some seasons, right? What are you seeing right now as a leader, as a top performer, someone leading a community and a movement? What shifts are you seeing right now in your business today? And what are you doing to navigate them yourself or inspire your team to do the same?
First of all, I see a global apathy. So let's just put it out there. It's a global issue. It's not a US issue. It's not a Europe issue. Everyone is a little gun shy to do anything these days. Anything. And that's okay. You said it, Blake. It's a season. But what do? We stay consistent. I don't work my business any differently today than I did 3 to 4 years ago, except for me personally. I lean into LinkedIn. That's where I spend my time. LinkedIn. People, You can have your favorite social media platform. I don't care what it is. For me, it's LinkedIn. So what I'm seeing is a shift across not even our industry, but the world. People are just hesitant. They're skeptical more than usual. Okay. More skeptical. They want to come home from work every day, stay safe. We don't know what tomorrow brings. It's an election year. Times are tight. Things are weird. Nobody knows. It's in the, turn off the media. The media is not helping anything. So what I think that we can do to make shifts in our business is continuously, and I try to do this every single day for my team. Who can you serve today? In what way? For me, it is always going to be the opportunity. I lead with opportunity. The product comes secondary. It's the way it's always worked for me. Most people lead with product. I lead with opportunity because what I'm seeing, Blake, in the last 2 years, less people joining my team to replace whatever income they had, 50,000, 150,000, 250,000. Less of them are joining to replace that income. They just want to add on so that they can build a war chest. So in case something else happens globally, in case things don't go, they want them to go with their business or their company's bought, sold, whatever. They have a war chest where they can sleep at night. So I'm seeing a lot less like violently aggressive, oh, I'm out of here, I'm never coming back to this, or I can't wait to get out. It's more of an insurance policy, kind of like I said earlier, not because you want to quit your job, but because your job one day may quit you. And the thing that I think people could do a better job of during this time of shift across everyone in network marketing and really every business is to continue building your brand and showing up for your business every single day. You have to put the open sign out every single day. We all work from our homes. So they're like, how do you put the open sign out? Like, how are you crafting time to work your business every day? I don't do it all social media. I do a lot of meetups. I'm taking my daughters to Miami tomorrow. Long, fun story, but I'm going to do a meetup at the hotel in Miami to meet entrepreneurs, professionals. I'm going to put it out to I call it a tickle file, my email list. Hey, who's in Miami? Come meet me at the bar at Lowe's, blah, blah, blah. So you guys can take things off social media and do things belly to belly, B2B, B2C, whatever. But you have to be consistent, showing up as a brand for yourself, showing up for the company you represent, and then showing up for entrepreneurs or people in general that just may want more.
And there's always going to be, in any season, there's always going to be the achievers that want, big things, big goals, big dreams, and are ready for that. But I think you highlighting that that's not everybody. That's probably not the majority. You called it a war chest. Really what I heard is kind of peace of mind. Like if someone has an additional income stream coming in consistently, that's peace of mind. They're sleeping better at night in case things change. I think that's an awesome insight. You mentioned social and meetups. What percentage, if you were to kind of ballpark, of your business do you think begins on social media versus beginning offline today? I'm curious.
So I do a little bit of a hybrid. So I pull people from social media with a freebie. I do a free LinkedIn training or get my recipes, or I've done all sorts of funny things. So I have a massive email list. And I use that email list not only for sales and recruiting, but also getting people off social media and getting people belly to belly. I have a great relationship with a local boutique hotel. I do one meetup a month there, Wednesday afternoons, everybody, and not to recruit for my company, to meet other, sometimes that happens, but to meet other professionals and to get out of my house and into the community. I told you I'm part of these groups about equal pay for women. And so we have different events and meetups all over. I was just in Manhattan, meeting all these new people. So what I would say to you is if you feel like you need an accoutrement to social media, which the answer is yes, you do. You cannot be social media only. You have to meet people belly to belly, eyeball to eyeball. Start thinking about how you can serve. And it may be as simple as, hey, you guys, you know what? I would love to meet other entrepreneurs in my zip code. Why don't we all meet at the new hot restaurant in town at the bar somewhere between 5 and 7 on Wednesday night? You guys, people are lonely. They don't feel that you might not think so. They're lonely and alone. Coming out to meet someone like you or to meet other people at the new hot spot in town, get out of town. Anyone's going to come. And then people want the logistics. I'm like, no, I'm not buying their drinks. I'm not buying we're just meeting up. Just do it. Try something new.
Wait. So you're saying go out of your house, get out from behind the computer screen, and go meet people just for the sake of meeting people. Is that what I'm hearing?
100%. Just do something fun to meet new people. Everybody, you guys, people are craving this. And you don't have to make it about your business. You don't have to make it about what you're doing. And you have no idea what those connections are going to do. Maybe for your business, maybe for you personally or professionally, or maybe just again, like in the universe, more people is more people. And I love to meet people. And then I go home and crash and don't talk to anybody. But
I can feel you on the introvert level. I get it. The introverts understand. Go stare at the wall. Yeah, I love the question that you said, who can you serve and in what way? Because all of us can ask that question. Who can I serve right now and in what way? And it doesn't mean you go to do the same thing that JJ is saying. You might have a different passion, a different topic, want to meet different people for different reasons, but we all can serve people in some way in our local community. So I think that's awesome. Now, you said LinkedIn.
yes.
Okay, we've had a lot of guests, right? We've talked TikTok, we've talked Instagram and Facebook, obviously, but LinkedIn doesn't get the attention maybe it deserves, right, within our space, and it's one of the best platforms to get organic reach today. So let's go deep on LinkedIn, because you might be the first guest that is actually crushing it right now on that platform. What are you doing? What's working? Give us some tips. Should we start? Tell us about LinkedIn.
Honestly, so LinkedIn is the #1 most trusted social media platform that exists. It's a global platform. If you guys are a global company, imagine sitting at a coffee shop on LinkedIn, virtually with people all over the world that want your product, service, or offering. People come to LinkedIn to be inspired, you guys. People go to Instagram to look at cat videos, and they go to Facebook to stalk their high school ex. You know what I mean? They're not on Facebook and Instagram looking for opportunity, looking for inspiration. So if you show up like a boss on LinkedIn and provide other people who are your avatar. So my avatar is the person I want to attract. My avatar is a middle-aged mom who's burned out, right? So you go to LinkedIn and you talk to your avatar about opportunity. Be a visionary, vision cast for them. What could be? You lead with the opportunity. The sales will come on the back end. LinkedIn rewards consistency. And I'll give you guys a little data point. People are 6 times more likely to purchase from you if you have a LinkedIn account. It is social proof of the highest form. So great. You might be crushing TikTok or Instagram. Trust me when I say spending time on LinkedIn will be meaningful. It's also an SEO. It's a search engine. So for a lot of us who spend time on LinkedIn, when people search our names, which I have the most common name on the planet, Jennifer Jones, so you probably can't search me. But when they search their names, the LinkedIn profile comes up highest. Okay. So if you are looking to attract professionals who understand the value of a moment, to understand the value of another stream of income, who want tax deductions, from a new business, talk to your accountant. I'm not an accountant, but spend time on LinkedIn, you guys. And if you go to LinkedIn and follow me, Jennifer Schultz Jones, I might be Jennifer Jones now. Literally look at what I'm posting. I post the same exact thing every single day, just worded a little differently. And it serves so many people because they may not be interested in my company, but I can connect them with people who align with what they're into. So they might not be into what I'm into, but I know people across all companies. So I'll pitch them a lead from LinkedIn. The other thing, you guys, this is a Jessie Lee, one of the best tips she ever gave me, ever. And she gave me a lot. When people connect with you on any social media platform, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, this was like mind-blowing to me. You say to them, thanks for the connection. Were you simply growing your network, or are you interested in what I do? You guys, it works. Well, I don't know. What do? You guys know we don't tell them everything. We got to dance. We keep it slow. You guys, and now that's not a cold DM. That's a warm lead. That's someone that you know in your network. So again, you could use polls on any social media platform, I think. I don't know about TikTok, but do polls, ask questions, and that takes you from a predator. You're not predatory anymore because they voted in your poll. So now you're just following up. You're just being a human. You wouldn't ask a human a question and they answer it and you walk away. That would be weird. So you asked a question, they answered it, engage with them. Anyway.
I mean, so simple yet so profound. Say that question again. So if they engage with you.
It was on one of her trainings and I was like, Jessie Lee, oh my God. So if someone requests to connect with you, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, whatever.
And by connect, that means they follow you, they connect, they engage, any of those levels.
You say, thanks for the connection. Were you simply growing your network, or are you interested in what I do? And you can tailor it to be like, thanks for the connection. Did you just like my reel? Are you interested in what I do? Whatever. Did you like my dance? Or are you interested in what I do? Did you like my post? Are you interested in what I do? You guys, it's so genius and it's so simple. And I probably, just to give you an idea of how I work LinkedIn, I max out connections every single day. I have 33,000 followers or connections on LinkedIn. I engage with at least 50 of them every single day by doing stuff like that. And then pulling that conversation offline, doing it belly to belly, exchanging emails. You guys know how it goes from there. It's like the nurture series. But start doing this. Again, got to credit Jessie Lee because it was so good.
JJ, go deeper there, because I bet there's a lot of listeners that maybe haven't made the jump to LinkedIn, right? I think a lot of this audience is probably on Facebook, probably on Instagram, probably on TikTok. When you say max out your connections, because on LinkedIn, that's different than maybe what you can do on these other platforms. What do you mean by that? And what is the max?
This is a military operation. Pretend you're holding a machine gun. You're holding a machine, okay? Like Rambo. And you're going to be like, okay? So anyone that seems like your avatar. So for me, it's literally any male or female in pharma, okay? Connect. Machine gun, connect. And LinkedIn will eventually say, good job growing your network. You're done for today, blah, blah, blah. All you guys want is eyes on you. Imagine I get to walk into an arena and there's 33,000 people there that I know from LinkedIn, you guys, okay? Maybe you have 100 Instagram followers. Imagine you were in an auditorium with 100 people. That's meaningful, okay? So you're connecting with the avatar, who is the person you're trying to attract into your business. You're speaking their language every single day through pain points and pleasure points. What does that mean? Pharmaceutical reps hate ride-alongs. I explain what those are. Pharmaceutical reps hate hurry up and wait. So I'd be like, gosh, who out there today is going to hurry up and wait and schlep Chick-fil-A to an office? You guys know there's other options out there to whatever your product, service, or offering does. Okay. Hit them with the pain point, but don't leave them in pain. Give them a pleasure point. There's a way out. There's an option out there for you. Maybe we should talk offline. And again, maybe it's not your company, but you can connect them with people with whom they align, with whom they would, desire. So max out connections every single day. LinkedIn rewards consistency. Consistency for me on LinkedIn is 1 or 2 posts a day. I can hear you being like, oh my gosh, there's no way I could do that. Fine, do 2 a week, but be consistent. You guys say the same gosh darn thing every day with a different image. Every day. If you go back my LinkedIn for 6 years, every post the same, worded a little different picture. Okay. So, and the other reason you want to be spending a lot of time on LinkedIn, you guys, is because people don't know that you exist, and it is your job. It is your job to tell people that you exist and that your opportunity exists. And I can hear a lot of you saying right now, well, I never had a professional career, or I'm a teacher and teachers aren't on LinkedIn, or I'm a nurse and nurses aren't on LinkedIn. First of all, limiting belief. Second of all, people that know nurses and teachers are on LinkedIn, a lot of time they're married to them or in a relationship with them or friends with them. So I would tell you about half of my DMs a day, and I get a lot about my business are, I think this would be great for my husband. My wife would love this. My wife loves these types of products or services or offerings. You know what? My friend is in a weird place in a relationship. She needs some extra money. Can I give her your name? Don't let that limiting belief creep in of the person you're trying to attract is not on LinkedIn. They're all over LinkedIn. There is over 1 billion users on LinkedIn. Half of them log in every single day. Show up on LinkedIn. If you guys need any help or, inspiration, look at what I do and make it right for your company or your avatar or your career.
I once heard someone say the person you're most qualified to help is the person you used to be. Mm-hmm. So when you're talking about your avatar, right? And everybody that's listening out there, we've had other guests use that word, or your niche, mm-hmm. right? Or your target audience, or your perfect customer, right? All of this is, right, the person you want to speak to. And if you're just confused or you don't know who that is, who is the person you used to be? Because you know that person really, really, really well. And like JJ's saying, you can address all the things that are on their mind. Maxing out connections. So we can do this every day, and LinkedIn's not going to yell at us.
Every day. And then
okay.
if LinkedIn tells you to knock it off and blocks your connections, you did your job. And then you get to start again next week. So don't let them scare you with the strong language. No. They want to think they don't want you to be a robot, right? And I can max out connections so fast. They literally think I'm using AI for it when it's actually my fast thumbs, right?
Yep.
So max out connections, show up consistently. You guys, I'm telling you, someone on LinkedIn right now, today is looking for you or what you have to offer. Or on the back end, they're looking for your product. Like whatever your product provides, they want you to inspire them. They want you to show them the way. So if you lead with opportunity and they're like, gosh, you know what? I already have 10 side gigs. I love that person, first of all. Well, then they're going to be interested in your product. So lead with opportunity and then product on the back end. And again, you guys, take these conversations offline, put up a poll, who hates Mondays? I mean, this doesn't have to be some sort of big thing. Do I like money? Yes or no? They respond. Start a conversation. Be a human.
Don't post and ghost. If someone's engaging with you, send them the DM.
Yes, don't wait. Blake, do you hate Mondays? Yes. And then I just walk away? That's so weird.
Honest question, because I'm curious, right? Are you really DMing every new connection and every engagement? Like, is that like an everyday? That's part of your everyday. That's what you're doing. Everyone.
100%. And what I like to do, one of my favorite pastimes, is to screen record what I do and show it to my team. Like I'll post it on our team page and be like, you guys don't think I do 50 outreaches a day or 50? And I'm like, I have to scroll 10 times over and everything's time stamped, right? Like 1044, 1045, 1046. But you guys, this is not complicated. This is something that I might do if I wake up in the morning before the kids. You can do this with one eye open, right? This requires no intelligence whatsoever. Like you got your phone, connect. Don't overthink it. I don't even read the names. Connect, connect, connect. You just want eyes. Eyes on LinkedIn give you more leverage, guys. The more connections you have on LinkedIn, I'm sure it's just like Instagram or Facebook. The more connections you have, the more connections you're going to get to. Because now people are interested in you. And I want to say one more thing, because people are like, what do I post? Serve. Post something that serves. Okay. Tell a story. Share an article that's about your industry. It could be your day job or your side gig. And people will say to me, I don't want to post about my side gig on LinkedIn. What if my boss sees it? Well, first of all, I have to tell them that your boss can't keep you small and broke. But second of all, I'll tell them, fine, then just post about your day job, build a brand on LinkedIn about your current career, provide value and serve people in your current career, hit the pain point, then the pleasure point. You're going to build a brand. So when you finally do talk about it in the DMs, you're credible. You're not like like I talked about predatory earlier. You're not predatory. You're credible. They know you. They like you. They trust you because they've seen you showing up on LinkedIn. And I'll tell you guys, if I see someone on Instagram that I'm interested in for whatever reason, and they don't have a LinkedIn account, I'm not interested.
Well, JJ, what I love about what you're saying is it puts the activity within our control. Because everything you're saying is 100% within all of our control. We can spend time maxing out our connections. We can post, right, 1 or 2 times a day or 2 times a week consistently. We can then engage in the DM with everybody who engages with us. And if we run that activity with those questions, the script you're giving us, it's going to open conversation. And we can control that. Everybody can control that.
And it's free. It's free. It's free. Social media is free. Don't get LinkedIn Navigator. Don't pay anything. I have the free LinkedIn and I crush on the free LinkedIn. But like anything, Blake, I do these LinkedIn trainings and I say to people, 99% of you will not do what I tell you to do. 99% of you will not do these simple things I tell you to do because it's consistency. And consistency is challenging for a lot of us, right? So be consistent, show up. It will pay off.
Well, I love it. I didn't mean for this to become a LinkedIn masterclass. We just got one, but it is. And LinkedIn hasn't gotten the attention. So it's definitely something that people should try. And I do think what you're saying does apply to all the platforms. And I do love that you can kind of find your space that you're comfortable in and apply what you're saying and probably get similar results. But I think this conversation is going to inspire some people to move over to LinkedIn and see what they can do and how they can serve over there. You know, before we go to some rapid fire questions, I'm just curious because you gave us the tactics. You've mentioned consistency. I also know you're a mom of 4. How old are your kids now?
Now, oh my gosh, they're 13, 12, you guys. They're all girls, first of all, 13 and 12. Wow. 10 and 8. You're
raising some amazing, children, next generation. So, but you're also saying consistency. What tactics do you have? Like what type of is it strategies, any sort of time management tips? Like you're juggling mom life, work life, this life, that life, yet you're showing up consistently every day. Like how literally are you doing it? Any tips you can give?
Totally. And I start with, you said I always start with mindset and I'm going to do it again. Blake, I don't even realize that I do this until you said that, but it is okay for your children to see you work. It is 100% okay. And I think, like, I'm not going to speak for men, but I think women have a real issue with that. Well, I'm around my kids. I don't want to be around my phone around my kids. I don't want to be on my computer around my kids. This is how I pay for life for my children. This is how we make income. So do not be afraid to work in front of your kids. Bring your kids into your business if you have them, let them be a part of it, you guys. My kids help me merchandise products. They help me clean the house if I'm going to do an event. I bring them into the business. But I also think overwhelm is a choice. I say that overwhelm is a choice. Time blocking is simple. A kindergartner could time block. Okay. So when can you time block? Is it 5 a.m. in the morning? Is it 10:30 at night? Time block, turn the timer on your phone and you go to work. Work is not scrolling. Work is sending connection requests. Work is maybe posting or responding to posts. Work is not looking at what other people in your company are doing. Work is not looking at what your friends are doing, you guys, okay? So the other thing I'll tell you guys, which is very, very simple to do, is you start these conversations in the DMs or on social media. I tell you how important it is to take them off social and into the emails or in person. When someone asks for information on your product, service, offering, you get their email address. You plug their email address. It could be into Gmail. I don't care. You make a bucket. I call it a tickle file. My tickle file is probably worth $500,000 with the amount of people I have. There's 25,000 people in my tickle file. They've all given me, they've given me their email address. So I'm going to keep in touch with them. You guys start with a tickle file of 2. Okay. Build it up. Eventually, you're probably going to want to go to a platform like Flowdesk or MailChimp and actually bucket these people out. But you don't, I'm not telling you to pay money right now. I'm telling you to start a free tickle file that when people give you an email address, you plug it in there. Okay. Then you can use them to, give a freebie, a product service offering information. Hey, I noticed you're in Illinois. I'm going to be in Illinois. Love to meet you in person. I'm hosting a meetup at the Days Inn. So doing those types of things cost you zero money. They do cost you time. But if you bucket out 30 minutes here, 30 minutes there, and you go hard in the zone, you get in the zone, you'll be shocked. You'll be shocked at what you can accomplish.
Well, I do want to leave time, JJ, for some closing thoughts. We've already covered a lot, but before we get to that, is it okay if we do a rapid fire round real quick?
Yes.
Super quick answer. So I've asked kind of similar questions to all guests, and it is around this concept of shift. And you do this naturally, right? And I find that most top achievers do go to perspective or mind shifts first because everything tends to start there, right? It's what we think determines what we do, determines, right? Our habits determines our results. So you've given us some amazing shifts already just in your examples and your stories and just your natural responses. But I want to kind of isolate to maybe a single shift, belief shift, mind shift, in your professional life. If you were to say one that's been one of the most significant from the JJ that got started to the JJ that is today, what one comes to mind?
You can always reinvent yourself. I love hot yoga, obsessed hot yoga. And there was a quote at one of my studios that said, "You're never too old. You're never too tired. You're never too sick to begin again." So I always say, just because it's what you've always done doesn't mean it's what you're going to do forever. You guys, I was 20 years in an industry. I thought there was no way out. I thought that was what I was going to do till I retired or got early retirement, right? I thought I was trapped in that forever. You are not trapped. You can always reinvent yourself. Allow yourself to dream again. Allow yourself to have visions of a different life, you guys. The life you have now is not the life that you need to have a year from now. You are in the driver's seat. You are in control. And we talked a little bit earlier about, whether it's a multiple personality or it's just different, parts of your mindset or your emotions. You can always be somebody different. You are not trapped in this person, okay? Or this mindset. Change your mindset, change your life. You can reinvent yourself. I might be someone totally different tomorrow. I don't know. I might decide to do that. You can always do it. I'm 45 years old. If I can do it, you can do it. I don't care if you're 75. You can always reinvent yourself.
So good. So same question and a reply in just one sentence. What would be a significant shift for your personal life?
Take care of your body. I mean, I do that, but I think for a lot of people, if they're not putting their health and wellness first, nothing else matters. You guys, you said one sentence, but this is your body's where you have to live forever. You don't get another one. So health and wellness first, always. Everything else falls into place.
Yeah, I think we've all had those stories where we realize without our health, we have nothing, right? Whether it be us or a loved one. So I love that. Great advice. And then the last one, this is kind of like a visionary question. So this is kind of idealistic, kind of the optimist or, positivity in me. If you could snap your fingers right now and give a single belief shift to every single direct selling consultant, affiliate, promoter, representative, everything we call ourselves today, snap your fingers, boom, everybody made this shift. What gift would you give them right now?
Tell yourself you're capable of anything because you absolutely are. You're the only one holding you back. Change your mindset. I can, I will, I must, I can, I will, I must, I will, whatever that looks like for you, you are capable. Your company gives you the tools to do it. You have the tools right here to do it. Unlock the tool. Old keys won't open new doors. Do it differently, but you're capable.
So good. And I want to let you share anything else on your mind or your heart that we haven't had a chance to cover yet before we round out. This has been an absolutely on fire conversation, JJ. My notes are scribbled. I got notes all over the place. I mean, I think a lot of us can resonate with the intense energy around the shift from kind of the corporate world or that traditional path to becoming an entrepreneur, and maybe what keeps us stuck in the limiting beliefs. We got to expand. You helped us with that. I love the insight you gave us around money, how we should look at money, what it is, what it isn't. I love the Teflon attitude. We all could use that Teflon suit. And the system you gave, right? Some mantras we can start telling ourselves, right? Choosing our peer group, our circle. That visual of the full body Spanx or the Superman suit and the practice. I mean, we got a LinkedIn masterclass that I think is going to inspire a lot of people to make that shift or apply it to their platforms. And so many stories and nuggets in your responses. Is there any kind of closing thoughts you want to give before we round out today's call?
John Milton once said, you can't feed a baby steak. Okay. Another way of saying that is you have to eat the elephant one bite at a time. I don't like either of those visuals, but what I want to tell you guys is I was once in your shoes thinking maybe I could become that person. I don't know if I'm cut out for that, but maybe I could. Maybe I could be one of the titans in this industry, like the Jesse Lees. I put on my blinders. I pulled up my Teflon suit every single day. And now I'm on Blake Mallon's podcast. So if you think that it can't happen for you, it absolutely can, but you have to start moving.
Well, thank you for bringing the absolute energy today and pouring into us and taking time away from your little dragons and your community and your team to shine a light on what's working today. So many wise words and things we can immediately apply. And for all of you listening, thank you for hanging with us. Please let us know what you got out of today. We are both here to serve you. And the only way we know we're making an impact is if you let us know. So drop by all the platforms, leave us a rating, leave us a review. And JJ, I love how you asked the question, who can I serve and in what way? Mm-hmm. And one way I know every one of you listening right now can serve is by sharing this episode with someone on your mind or your heart who's a direct selling entrepreneur that you know is making the shift out of that corporate world or needs that Teflon suit, right? Or needs to adopt the mindset of a top performer. Share the show. We're in all the places, Apple, Spotify, Audible. You can watch JJ. You can see the line and her energy on YouTube if you'd rather watch the show. And you can always find all of the episodes at directsellingshift.com. JJ, thank you for the time. Thank you for being a light. Enjoyed today and can't wait to see the impact this conversation makes. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Blake. Bye.